if you're the type of man who insists on transgressing against the spaces of women who are scared, women who are protesting, women who are saying no, women who are expressing fear, discomfort, who have not given consent, and you push past that point anyway, it is not then a surprise that we would find out later that you have transgressed criminally against men, women, and children.
Mama, I know I'm a demon. It ain't nothing she could do but pray for me.
So, over the weekend, says armed members arrested at family-friendly drag brunch by Fort Worth police. This is from the Texan. It says a group of armed Antifa members attacked protesters and resisted arrest outside of a quote family. And let's go take a look at what happened over the weekend in Texas. We've seen this before in Texas, where there are militia groups, these Antifa militia gun groups, who are now protecting or guarding venues' ability to carry out sexual grooming of young children for pedophilic, interests. I'm sorry, any adult who insists on exposing a child to pornographic material, behavior, sexually explicit imagery, especially live, it's rooted in pedophilia. They are now guarding it with arms. Why? Because they want to protect their right to engage in their fetish in public. We're here, folks. Let's take a look. Over the weekend, Antifa showed up to a family-friendly drag show for children. I don't know what family-friendly drag show means. Sounds like an oxymoron to me. But several Antifa members were arrested after violently assaulting peaceful protesters outside. And let's take a look. Let's watch this video released by the Fort Worth police. Again, if you'll notice, these Antifa members, as they're walking over with black umbrellas, they are armed, they are tactical, they have gear, they have helmets, they have bulletproof vests on, body shields. Now look, there's 2 women and 2 men, right? They have nothing more than cardboard signs. Let's take a look at what happens. Now, this one man is putting his hand up, basically saying, hey, we don't want any trouble. If you notice this guy's flag, this is what they always bring. They're sticks, they're weapons. They use this duality of making their weapons as signs or something benign when really they're weapons. As I've been participating in Let Women Speak events and Speakers Corners events, and we've seen a growing cadre of trans privilege activists who show up to our events. They are aggressive.
Oh, here come our friends. Up. They are here.
Well, I'm going to try to get this.
And they are. So this is what happens when women try to speak.
1 minute in the liaison with the cops here.
There we go.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, good. They did come. Oh, it's the mom is back. Oh, good. Oh, it's this one. No. Wrong side. Yeah, touch me with it. Oh, good. Look at that. Yeah, touch me with it. Go ahead. Keep touching me with it. Go ahead. This is what they do, though. This is who they are. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is who they are. This is what they do.
Trans liberation. No prison. Trans liberation. No walls. No prisons. Trans liberation. No killing.
Back off. Bye. See ya. Follow the law. It's not hard. Bye. Not welcome. This is what they do. These are the poor victims. The poor victims. This is a woman. This 6'5" hulking male is a woman, apparently. See ya. Oh, yes. They just want to pee. Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, look at this poor woman. She's so vulnerable. Oh, they just want to pee. They just want to pee. Good job, guys. That was excellent.
Hi, Amy. Okay, we're ready to begin.
And for those who will remember, the TERF, Trans Exclusionary Radical Fascist, sign that I got from one of our friends at the Philadelphia Speakers Corner with Posey Parker.
Hold on. This is what we do. No, I actually appreciate you guys coming. Because this is actually good. You guys make good work, though. They're creative. Like, look at these signs. In fact, I love your sign so much, I decided to keep one. Cat ladies up. Philly's a turf city now.
Yes, if you recall, oh, looks like a nice little sign, right? Cute, good artwork. These are weapons. They're always armed. Even if they don't seem like they are, they're always armed. These are tactical. This is not by mistake. This is by design. This is why they always have something on them. They're the aggressors. They're the ones coming. If you look at the protesters, if you look at the people with their little cardboard signs, there's 2 women and 3 men, they're not tactical. They're not armed. They're just there to express themselves. Antifa is not the same. They are there to intimidate. They are there to attack. This is what they get off on. This is how it's been since the beginning of time. Since Antifa's been around. Since I was 17 years old. I'm 35 now. This is how they've been. This footage is from a city camera monitored by the police. Keep an eye on the situation. We have the 3 men in black are Antifa. And there he goes. He's pepper spraying the protesters of the drag queen story hour for no real reason. I mean, they came up onto them unprovoked. You see the one man leading the women away. Again, all they're holding are cardboard signs. These men who are carrying umbrellas will later use those umbrellas to assault a police officer, which will get one of them arrested. They have sticks, and of course they're all masked up. They all have dark sunglasses, as a way to conceal their identity. If they really believe, and that's never means that anyone's ever up to any good, right? If you intend to act within the confines of the law, why should you need to conceal your identity? And here we see the police coming to make the arrests.
He's right here. Hey, bud, you come with me real quick? No. Yeah. He's gonna come with us. He's right here. That's up. Hey, you need to come with us, bud. I'm not doing anything. We're gonna go get him. Get away. Stop falling. Stay right here. Stay right here. Hey, stop. Hey, you stop, take off running, you're going to get charged with that. What are you doing? Hey! Get back! I ain't fucking moving! Get back! Bring the units over here! Over here! Hey, I got to help. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. I got this. Reach for that gun. You will get shot if you reach for that gun. Don't reach for that gun. Let go. Let go. Get up. Help! 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 Pistol. Get the pistol. Get the pistol. Pistol. Stand up. Stand up. Help! 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 Mark unit one. Mark unit one. Frank, come here. That's you. Help! Hold on, Sergeant. Let's get Sergeant back here. Walking out the crowd. You got him? Yeah, we got him. Frank.
He's asking for help and there's
No, fine. We can take care of it later. Back up.
What does he need a medic
Back up.
What does he need a medic
Back up.
What does he
Back
need a
up.
medic for?
Back up.
He's calling for a medic.
You're under arrest.
What does he need a medic for? What does he need a medic for?
So, over the weekend, says armed members arrested at family-friendly drag brunch at Fort Worth police. This is from the Texan. It says a group of armed AntiFa members attacked protesters and resisted arrest outside of a quote family-friendly drag show by Cameron Abrams. This was posted about 2 hours ago. A clash of ideologies took place in Fort Worth over the weekend when a group of Antifa members engaged in violent attack against protesters and police outside a, quote, family-friendly drag show. Event organizers promoted the, quote, drag brunch event at Fort Brewery and Pizza. Write that down. Make sure, do not support these businesses that are promoting this disgusting, obscene, sort of, this is pedophilia, preying on children. We always knew things like drag existed. We always knew, Southeast Asia, there was ladyboys, things like that. We always knew that these drag, bondage, BDSM, we've always known that they've existed, but they've always existed over there in an adult space. Separate from children. There was always an understanding, an agreement on decency that we keep these very adult actions and sexual spaces away from children. Now, there's a push to include children. Why? Because it is rooted in the idea that, much like a movement that is trying to abolish restrictions on age for adults having sexual relationships with children. So what's an easy way to begin to indoctrinate them early? Get them into family-friendly drag shows where watching pornographic acts take place in front of them while your, auntie and uncle and mom and dad are smiling and clapping, and you think, hey, this is normal. And you grow up and it'll just be like, oh, wow, this is what I've seen since I was a child. There's nothing wrong with this. This is grooming 101. These children are being groomed, and it's happening in plain sight out in the open. It was promoted as a, quote, perfect event to celebrate a special occasion with your friends, family, or coworkers. According to police reports and videos, the Fort Worth Police Department monitored the beginning of the conflict as it was occurring via a city camera. A small group of event protesters from Protect Texas Kids were approached by a group of AntiFa counter-protesters. They are approached, they are attacked and accosted by these AntiFa fascists. It's funny that they would call themselves anti-fascists because all I ever see is fascist behavior. That what, people aren't allowed to speak, people aren't allowed to say no, express their values. So which is, that's Antifa? It sounds like an oxymoron to me. A group of event protesters from Protect Texas Kids were approached by a group of Antifa counter-protesters dressed in black, wearing helmets and outer tactical vests, with reports of them being, quote, armed with handguns and long guns, who began to spray them with pepper spray. According to the post-millennial reporter Andy Ngo, a group of Antifa members is part, and I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. I always see his name written, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. The group of Antifa members is a part of the Terrelling John Brown Gun Club in North Texas. The group, quote, Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club, identifies itself as defense against white supremacists and fascism. It says the club is named after abolitionist leader John Brown, who was executed after his failed attempt to incite a slave rebellion at Harper's Ferry in 1859. As events unfolded, police made attempts to approach the instigating members of Antifa group, where then the officers attacked and the suspects began to evade arrest. In a video released of the altercation, one member of Antifa group identifies herself as a, quote, medic. And I like I said, I've spent time with Antifa when I was, they always have medics. They always try to be, super. And again, this is where the problem is. They're taking on this Marxist revolutionary sort of pages out of that handbook of, uprisings, and they really believe that they're like the underdog who's, going up against the man, and it's so unbelievable that they don't see that they are the man, that you are the man. You are the one dominating speech. You are the one who has everybody on lockdown, forcing your culture onto us that we never consented to, we don't want anything to do with. But it all comes down to, again, and you think of all human behavior, really is driven by a few basic drivers, sex being a main one, especially for men. So it's like when your whole identity is around your paraphilias and your fetishes, and you get so off on forcing them onto people, and it's that sort of like rapist tendency to want to push things onto people who are unwilling. It's the voyeurism, it's the exhibitionism, it's the forcing people to watch you do something, forcing people to engage with your fetish who are unconsenting, who are unwilling, and that's the thrill. That's what it is, and that's why so much of this goes hand in hand, forcing people to have to sit there and grit, bear, and take it. And again, it's where we remember these are not these poor victim, underclass of minority trans people. These are the top of the totem pole. These are white, Western, American men who want to be able to openly engage in their paraphilias, have created a sort of class that they identify themselves as, but it's something that it's their own construction. And they're forcing it and imposing it on people. A lot of them have training. A lot of them have, by virtue of growing up as boys, growing up as young men, growing up as male teenagers, have a lot of tactical training. They've been introduced to guns. They've been socialized as boys. Hence why they have so much of these very male pattern skills, things that we typically teach our boys and men that we aren't teaching girls. It's another reason why to teach your girls how to use guns, teach your girls how to arm themselves. Of course, these super hyper liberals want to take everyone's guns, but they want to keep them for themselves. A member of the Antifa group identifies herself as a medic and attempts to break through multiple police officers to give aid to an arrested Antifa member. And another thing he kept screaming was, help, help, help.
Stand up! Stand up! Help! 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 Mark unit one, Mark unit one. Frank, come here, that's you. Help! Sergeant. Let's search back here. Open up the crowd.
As he was being arrested, and I really think that they need to look into that and issue additional charges, because I consider that trying to incite a riot. If you're screaming help and he's literally looking at his other armed members, it's almost like he's like requesting them to do something, to whether it's to shoot the police officers, to intervene in some way. They had guns. It's not okay.
He's asking for help and they're screaming.
No, fine. We will take care of it later. Back up.
What does he need a medic for? What does he need a medic for?
Back up. Back up.
He's calling for a medic. What does he need a medic for? What does he need a medic for?
Another Antifa member interfered with officers' efforts by swinging an umbrella at officers. 3 assaulting suspects were non-compliant with the officers' attempts to defuse the situation were arrested. All 3 are part of the Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club, according to Go, and have been bailed out through donations acquired through Twitter. They love crowdsourcing. As described by the Counter Extremism Project, a Texas set of the Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club has taken a hard anti-police position, casting all police as mass shooters who harass minorities and seek out excuses to unload their weapons. And these are quotes taken, I guess, from their website. So they're anti-police. It is so obvious in their behavior. And you watch these videos, look how dangerous this is for the police. You know, we really do need to be supportive of good officers now more than ever. Obviously, we need to weed out the shitty ones, and there absolutely exists a lot of them. But there also exists a lot of really good ones. Contemporary Antifa, short for anti-fascist, members belong to decentralized groups across the country. Antifa is an international leftist extremist movement that combines multiple ideologies not specific to any centralized organization. The broad opposition to fascism and, quote, white supremacy is left to individual interpretation, which allows varying opposition tactics and beliefs. And again, exactly. You know what I mean? Everything and anything is fascist. It's whoever doesn't agree to them, who gives any sort of resistance to what they want. It's what they want when they want it, and they want it now. Anyone who opposes any article of that, any piece of that, is a fascist. It is like the worst of the worst. It is late stage Western capitalism with these lazy, entitled children who have never progressed beyond this sort of undeveloped mentality. These adults who behave like absolute children. They believe anarchism and, anarcho-socialism. We don't have to work or contribute. We just take what we want. Bro, what? I was into this stuff when I was like 16, 17. Grow up. Learn basic principles of economics. Learn how society works, and you realize that none of that makes sense. It's all entitled bullshit. It's all like we don't want to have to do anything, but we want our cake. We don't want to have to work for it, but we want it. We want to have our cake and eat it too. Spoiled, bratty, the worst of the worst. Again, these are the people at the top of the totem pole, somehow believing or wanting others to believe that they're the oppressed. They're this sort of underclass that must be, protected and acknowledged. It's ridiculous. Let's see. The larger Antifa ideology tends to conglomerate the bases of Marxism, anarchism, and autonomous radicalism. Yeah, pretty much. Redneck Revolt, a self-described anti-racist, anti-fascist community defense formation founded in 2016 that emerged out of a John Brown gun club in Kansas, described it as focused on attempting to simultaneously grow a militant and armed culture within already existing liberatory and revolutionary movements. The Trump administration tried and failed to label Antifa as a terrorist organization, which is a mistake. It absolutely is. Again, if you want proof, yeah, I protested with Antifa for several years. I absolutely believe it's a terrorist organization. The stuff we did was unnecessary. we would attack people. It was insane. That year, an Antifa group raided a Target store in Austin during the summer's unrest. So, and so what I want to talk about is the fact that I really believe that this whole movement is more organized towards extremism and militancy. And we can see that's what's happening.